I'm Tara Schwartz. You're listening to Health Matters. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been sharing stories of hospital staff who are taking part in MUHCs Got Talent. This is the first ever event of its kind at the MUHC Foundation. It's a fundraising talent show where healthcare professionals from the MUHC share their not-so-secret talents. Dr. Matthias Friedrich will be performing live at the Corona Theatre on November 16th. He is a cardiologist and the scientific director of the Courtois Cardiovascular Signature Center and has multiple research projects in cardiac imaging and cardiovascular care. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Friedrich.
Thank you very much for having me.
How long have you been with the MUHC, Dr. Friedrich?
I came to the MUHC in 2015 after having come from Germany first to Calgary in 2004, but now it's 7 years already that I'm with the MUHC.
And tell us a little, I gave a bit of an introduction, but tell us a little bit about what you do there.
As you said, I'm the scientific director of the Courtois Cardiovascular Signature Program, but I'm also a staff cardiologist and chief of cardiovascular imaging. My special, let's say, interest is imaging the heart using magnetic resonance, and we're trying to find new ways of detecting heart disease early and in a very safe and accurate manner. So that's my main purpose. But I'm also doing some service on the coronary care unit and on the emergency room.
And what did you think, Dr. Friedrich, when you were asked to take part in MUHC's Got Talent? What was your first reaction?
My first reaction was, oh my God. Because I'm not a very nervous person, but I have a terrible stage fright. So that was my first reaction.
But you're a musician who plays in front of people. So how do you pass over that stage fright when you do have to play?
Yeah, so I actually do not perform regularly in front of people. I perform sometimes in front of friends and family, and we are also having some activities where we jam together. But I'm not an experienced public musician. No, that would not be honest if I would say that.
So tell us a little bit about your talent then. What is it that you're going to be doing, and how did you become interested in that?
Yeah, so I'm playing some piano and I'm playing some guitar, and with the guitar playing also as well as with the piano, I tried a little bit of composing. And it's mostly to entertain myself, but some of that also seems to be up to here. So what I thought, after having overcome my initial reaction, what I thought I would do is I would just play self-composed piece on the guitar, and in order to make it a little bit more interesting, I will use a so-called loop. So I will play first, and then I will play myself on what I just recently played. So this will make it sound like several guitars, and I hope that will be good enough, and I will not be too nervous to perform there.
I'm sure that you'll do a wonderful job, Friedrich. MUHC's with MU November 16th at Montreal's Corona Theatre. It's a fundraiser where staff raise money for causes close to their hearts. So tell us, what are you raising money for, Dr. Friedrich?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, I'm involved in imaging, so in creating images of the heart that give us clues about the diagnosis. And we're currently having a very, very important and maybe revolutionary research program that uses a technique that allows us to kind of see how the oxygen in the heart muscle changes over time. And we don't even use a needle for that, so we don't need to inject something. We don't use any radioactive agents or radioactivity. We're just using magnetic fields to track what happens to the oxygen in the heart muscle over time. And this research program, of course, has a lot of aspects. We have to validate that in careful experiments, and this is all, of course, costly. And while we have a very generous donation that allowed us to get started. This research program, which now involves collaborations with centers all across the globe, requires, of course, funding, and we have wonderful students, highly motivated, and we just need the funds to make sure that we can pay them during their research time and free up the time so that we can really make these advances happen. So this is what we are raising money for.
Now, if you want to support Dr. Friedrich, $10 buys you one vote, and the performer with the most votes takes the crown on November 16th. It's going to be a live show at the Corona Theater. Dr. Friedrich, you're going to be up against multiple MUHC staffers who are showcasing all their different kinds of talents. Are you a competitive type of person? Are you going to be in a competitive mode for this talent show? How are you approaching it?
I think I certainly have a competitive moment, but I've been in the business of life for too long, so I'm not competitive anymore. I enjoy being part of this, and I would be as happy for others to perform well and make this an event that will be good for all the involved scientists and research projects. So while of course we'll be eager to perform well, and while I certainly would hate to be the last, but being part of it is probably most of the joy, and I'm looking forward to that.
I hope so. And how do you think your patients, people who are, just the average person, do you think they're going to enjoy seeing their doctors, their physicians up there on the stage, out of context, out of the lab coat, doing, performing their talents? Do you think that's going to be fun for people?
Oh, I'm sure that will be fun. And seeing someone who you deal with in a couple, as you said, in a completely different context, certainly is always enjoyable, and I'm sure that the patients, but also donors and colleagues, will enjoy a lot seeing these people now doing something they never did in front of them. So I'm sure that will be a lot of fun.
I think so too. Dr. Matthias Friedrich, I want to thank you for joining us on the show. I want to wish you good luck at the live performance on November 16th, and really appreciate speaking with you. I'm looking forward to hearing you perform.
Thank you very much, and best wishes to all the listeners, and I hope you can join. It will be fun. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Friedrich. I hope so too. And if you'd like to support Dr. Friedrich or any of the performers, just head to MUHCFoundation.com, and on the homepage, you'll see MUHCs Got Talent. $10 buys you one vote, and the performer with the most votes takes the crown November 16th at Corona Theater. You can also join us there. You can buy tickets to the Corona Theater, same website, MUHCFoundation.com.